Hi, these comments are for AK, and I am Michael from OTC, OnlineTOEFLCourse.com. And you have used my free TOEFL speaking evaluation service. And I do offer this one time. Obviously, I can't do this over and over for the same person. So if you like the feedback I provide, if you think it's useful for you, you can certainly enroll in my TOEFL Speaking Bootcamp course, and you will get feedback exactly like this every time you send me a practice test. And you can do that about every 24 hours, and you will get feedback. Okay, so the second thing is, let me get ready. So you're doing an independent speaking topic. So I have the IBT rubrics in front of me, and let's take a look at the topic that you emailed me. So the question, teachers should assign daily homework to students. Do you agree or disagree with this? All right, here we go. So I'm going to listen to it first without making any comments. The second time, I will give you some comments.
Reach, reaches, run.
No, that's not the right one. Okay, here we go.
Personally speaking, I agree that teachers should assign daily homework. It's true it will be difficult for students and they might hate the teacher, but it will be extremely helpful for them. I remember when I was in high school, there was a teacher who was giving us homework every single day. It was very hard for us in the beginning and we all were frustrated with him and we actually hated him for it, but in the end, we all got high grades in the final exam. So, to sum up, I do agree that teachers should assign daily homework because it will be very beneficial for students.
Okay, this isn't bad. So let's go over, let me check the rubrics here. Yeah, looking at the rubrics, I think you're between a 3 and a 4. So the one area that stands out, I can't really criticize your delivery at all. It seems like you have pretty good control over how you deliver the response. You're speaking pretty quickly. The one area that you might improve on is intonation. You can vary your tone a little bit more. Language use seems to be pretty good. I'm going to listen to it one more time. I just need to make sure you're using both basic and advanced grammar and vocabulary in there. Not necessarily vocabulary. It doesn't have to be super advanced given the topic, but just make sure your control over your language use is strong. And then I'm going to look at your organization. Maybe you can use some different more connectors in there to help show the relationship of ideas. So at this point, I'm going to say you're between 24 and 26 points. I think that's a pretty accurate score. But let's listen to it one more time.
Personally speaking,
Okay, you don't need to say personally speaking. That's a waste of words. You only spoke for 41 seconds. You can use those two words in another way to develop examples that you really didn't elaborate on that much.
I agree that teachers should assign daily homework.
How about just say teachers should assign daily homework, right? We already know it's your opinion.
It's true it will be difficult for students and they might hate the teacher.
How about this? Say, even though it might be difficult for students, blah, 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 instead of it is true that it will be, maybe use even though and then kind of move the sentence from that angle, and then you show you have more advanced grammar.
But it will be extremely helpful for them. I
Okay?
remember when I was
Okay, it'll be helpful for them. How about put to illustrate at that point? So you're moving from the assertion or the argument that you're trying to make to an example to illustrate that argument. To show the connection, consider a word like for instance, for example, or to illustrate. You can even say case in point if you want.
in high school, there was a teacher who was giving us homework every single day.
Now, who was this teacher? Give me some more background. Was this chemistry, biology, English? What grade was it? Was it your first or second year of high school? So be a little bit more specific when you get into talking about the teacher. That makes it more helpful. It makes your example a little bit more telling.
It was very hard for us in the beginning, and we all were frustrated with him.
Instead of it was hard, say keeping up with these daily assignments was hard for us. So instead of using the word it, consider maybe using a gerund phrase there, and that also shows a little bit more advanced grammar. A lot of students use it and their constructions all the time, everywhere, anywhere they can, and it doesn't show very much advanced grammar.
And we actually hated him for it, but in the end, we all got high grades in the final exam. So, to sum up, I do agree that teachers should assign daily homework because it will be very beneficial for students.
And if you want to tie it back to what you said, because even though it might be difficult, it will be very beneficial. And then you tie that conclusion back to what you've already said to give you a little bit more coherent organization. All right, let me go back to I'm going to adjust my score slightly. I think I'm a little bit worried right now about this one area. I think you can probably improve on. Overall development is somewhat limited, usually lacks elaboration or specificity. Relationships between ideas may not be immediately clear. I think you can improve in that area a little bit more. So maybe when you do your speaking practice, consider when you bring up an example, really spend time explaining and describing that example, and that helps strengthen the argument you're trying to make, and it gets up to this area for topic development in the 4 area, right? So it says response is sustained and sufficient. It is generally well developed and coherent. Relationship between ideas are clear, or clear progression of ideas. I think you could improve a little bit more here. So I'm going to adjust my score to 23 to 25 points on the speaking. I think that's my final estimate there. All right, AK, thank you. So if you're interested, I brought it up in the beginning, go over to onlinetoeflcourse.com, and if you want to, right on the very top of the website there, you'll see where it says course plans. Click on that and see if you can find the course that works well for you. I promise you, as you do your TOEFL study, I will support you by giving you feedback every time you do pronunciation, speaking, or writing practice, so that you can monitor your progress as you go through the lessons. You can see if you're making the improvements you want. And then with the reading and the listening areas of my course, everything will be automatically scored at my website. So when you do a reading practice test or a listening practice test, my website will score that automatically, so you can get your results instantly in those areas. And guess what? When you do speaking and writing practice, usually you get your results in 1 to 2 days, usually 1 day, and that's a lot faster than when you take the TOEFL exam. Am I right? All right, well, Happy New Year to you, 2021. Thank you for completing this practice test.